Guys, I can't imagine why a foreign nation, specifically one that is considered an adversary of ours, would not be happy with us putting some type of Golden Dome missile defense above our nation. Guys, I can't imagine why. I'm trying to figure out why they wouldn't like that. Let me know in the comments, before we even start this video. Let me know if you guys know. Right? But either way, let's go and jump into this video immediately. This is a suggestion via Discord, guys. Let's do it.
President Trump is rolling out his $175 billion plan for America's Golden Dome missile defense system.
I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. This design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term.
Ultimately, this right here, the Golden Dome for America, is a game changer. It's a generational investment in the security of America and Americans.
Leading aerospace and defense company Lockheed Martin could be a major contributor to this project.
They would be, basically.
Their chief operating officer, Frank St. John, joins me now. Frank, good morning to you. So what are the capabilities that Lockheed has that can help with this?
Good morning, Carly. As the nation's leading provider of missile defense systems, Lockheed Martin brings fielded proven capabilities in space, airborne, and surface sensing, as well as interceptors to defeat threats and command and control capabilities to integrate all of that together.
And this Golden Dome could ultimately block nuclear missiles shot from on the ground and in space as well?
Yes, and there are, significant analysis of the existing and growing threat that have created the demand for this system to be fielded now. And so we are bringing those combat-proven capabilities, as well as working with all of industry and all of the technology companies to knit together this capability that will defend against those threats that you mentioned, as well as cruise missiles and intermediate ballistic missiles and other threats as well.
Okay.
Well, it's fascinating, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the robotic arms that are operating behind you and people walking past. So clearly all systems go at Lockheed Martin this morning, and I imagine that this Golden Dome and building it and creating it would be a job creator as well.
It is,
yeah.
The work of deterrence is a 24/7 operation, and you see
It
that in
would be.
process here. And yes, there's going to be jobs in California, Colorado, Alabama, Arkansas, New Jersey, New York, all over the country. This is going to be a system that's built domestically here in the United States.
It would have to be.
And we're really proud to take a leading role in bringing President Trump's vision to reality.
Okay, guys, so really quickly, I want to go ahead and point out something. I do find this absolutely interesting. I think it's a great idea. If Lockheed Martin is going to kind of lead or spearhead this project itself, sure, why not, right? Of course, it's going to have to be American made. Why? Because you really do not want anyone else having access to any coding or whatever it is that's going to be needed for this here. But now my main concern here is that, guys, think about where else the Golden Dome is basically being utilized. We're talking about Israel. Israel is minuscule in comparison, guys, right? And not everywhere in Israel is basically covered by, let's say, the Golden Dome, right? Not everywhere, at least. The United States of America is massively larger than this. So where are these structures going to be built? Are they going to be excessively noticeable, let's say, because there are a lot of people who just do not want to see these type of things on a regular basis. I get it. They're there for our protection. But that's a lot of land mass to basically cover. I like the idea of this, but we actively do not have like a current, let's say, publicly known threat to the United States of America that even can, annihilate us in this manner here, let's say. We do have infrastructure problems, though. Okay. If we're going to be hiring people for, like, I don't know, guys, doing government type projects and things, I definitely would probably prefer our bridges and roads to be adequately fixed. And then I think we can probably work on some of these secondary defense type of things. But guys, again, we have the highest military budget, defense budget on Earth, guys. And number two is not even close to us. Okay, and just understand this here. Number two, not even close. in terms of how much is being spent. So I do think that we absolutely should start kind of focusing on, let's say, the infrastructure. Then we can kind of move on to this here. No problem here. You want to do this? We all agree with that this is something that we absolutely need and will 100% function. And it's not going to be like a literal disturbance, let's say, to the American public. Go for it, guys. Absolutely. But again, infrastructure, guys. But let's continue.
Okay, so let's talk about how some of our adversaries are feeling about the president's announcement yesterday. Chinese Foreign Ministry put out this statement this morning saying this undermines global strategic balance and stability. China expresses serious concern over this. We urge the United States to abandon the development and deployment of a global missile defense system as soon as possible. This is a defensive technology, so how do you feel about that and where they're coming from here?
Well, what we've seen historically is that the thing that leads to conflict is a lack of deterrence. Yeah. And so our belief, along with the administration, is that having strong deterrence is the best way to deter conflict. And so we're looking forward to partnering with General Gutlein and the administration to roll this out and make the world safe for peace and prosperity.
So the president also said yesterday that Canada wants to be involved in this, but they would have to pay their fair share. And some skeptics say that the immense cost and the actual ability to create something to defend an entire continent isn't realistic. So
that's my immediate thought. I have not dug into any of this at all. I've not heard anyone else's talking points, et cetera, et cetera. But my initial point here is that, guys, the United States of America is gigantic. And if we start to kind of bring in Canada to the mixture here, and also she pointed out that it's the entire continent, guys. The entire continent is kind of all the way down to the bottom, guys, right? I mean, we're including Mexico too. So let's not forget Mexico as part of our continent. But either way, it's nearly impossible to do so, guys. Absolutely. We are gigantic, bro. All right. We have a lot of empty biomes in the United States of America. We do, guys, we do. All right. Are we protecting the emptiness also, guys? Again, the idea is great, right? Sure. It's very expensive. Great. Amazing. But I'm pretty sure our money could be spent elsewhere, specifically on something that may not function in the way that we think it's going to function, at least, guys. Okay, $175 million to $1 billion to make an attempt to cover the entirety of it, bro. Even Alaska, Hawaii, Guam, our territories.
So, what would you say to those critics?
Well, most of the constituent elements of the system have been demonstrated already in smaller scale around the world.
Much smaller scale.
All of them have been proven in combat situations. And so this is really a scaling of capability and an integration capability.
Okay.
And the technology that's available today for networking,
it's there.
For edge and cloud computing, for bringing artificial intelligence to bear on the decision making, all of that new technology is what's going to allow us to stitch these capabilities together and produce this system.
It's fascinating. Mm-hmm. And really quickly, final question to you. Do you really think that we can get this up and running within the President Trump's second term over the next 3 years?
Because of the start we have with the existing capabilities, we're going to be able to rapidly assemble a credible deterrent in a very short period of time. Okay. And in parallel, then work the future technologies that'll deal with threats as they evolve and keep the system relevant for generations.
What a time to be alive. Frank St. John, thank you so much for joining.
Okay. All right. So what are we doing about EMP shielding? What are we doing about that? I hear what you're saying, bro, but what are we doing about that? Right? Because, think about the places where the Golden Dome, let's say, the Iron Dome, whatever it is, the dome that's around the country, right, that's protecting them, let's say. Think about the places where these are and think about the enemies that are attacking them, okay? Just for a second here. They're not hitting them with EMPs and blacking out like electrical grids, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I understand they're probably ran or self-contained off of some type of like solar or something like that, but still, bro, what about EMPs? Right. He also mentions the concept of networking. Guys, have you ever needed your internet to work one day and then one day it didn't work because the network was down? guys. I mean, there are a couple of concerns here. And again, I'd rather personally spend that money on fixing our literally just like aged, infrastructure around the country. Use that money to actually help, like specifically, benefit the majority of the United States of America, because a lot of people live in towns that are completely broken. Okay, broken. Yeah. Let's fix the infrastructure, and then we can work on something like this. But I get it. Every single president needs to basically have some type of manufactured crisis, along with an ideal, let's say. And if this is going to be the ideal that we're going to stand on here, the Golden Dome. Uh, Again, I like the idea of it. I like the idea of protecting Americans, absolutely. But again, the cost of it, it definitely feels like a pipe dream, bro. It feels like something that is not going to be able to be scaled at the rate that this guy is saying. But I mean, I get it. I mean, he's going to be the main, let's say, benefactor of the government contract. I get why he's saying all this. I would say it, bro. I would get on the news and say this too, bro. I sure would. I'm telling you, I'd say it right now. Pay me $175 billion. I'll go on the news and say it. Right? I'll say whatever you. What do you want me to say? The Golden Dome is gonna be able to deter everything. Of course it will. Right? We're gonna be able to scale it from the size of basically a county to the size of an entire half of the continent of the Americas. You get what I'm saying here? North America. Well, not all of it, just Canada and the United States of America. But you get what I'm saying here, guys, right? We're gonna stretch it out to the max, bro. I hear you, but I have a lot of issues with the stuff that's around it. You get what I mean here, guys? Um, but if it works, great, right? If it works, amazing. If it is not, if it covers everything and there's no like holes in it, and we find a way to never drop network, connection, let's say, all right. Like, is each singular unit going to have its own like AI processing center that is like shielded for EMP, and it has its own like networked thing there, and it doesn't rely on any external networking, guys? If that's the case, then that makes all the sense in the world here. All right. Like, you would need to have a gigantic structure set up just for the server room, let's say. So you can basically, shield that also, so no one can do anything to affect a specific, let's say, emitter of the dome's grid or whatever, bro. Right? Um, but either way, there's so much like in the technology that I have questions about, and it definitely it's very vague right now. But of course, you wouldn't want people to know publicly the like intricate details of such a complex system, right? Obviously, um, but it just doesn't make sense from the outside. There are a lot of holes, let's say. But either way, now you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I will catch you guys later.